Alrighty, just a bit of a recap of the 5 days of 50Ks and how it all went, the good, the bad, where to improve, all the legends that fucking jumped in. Oh my God, it was honestly, I know I've used this word a bit, but it was unbelievable, it was unfathomable. Just the amount of support and people that come down. I was always a bit worried that it would just be a solo YOLO, me doing it by myself, which I was prepared to do, but I really wanted it to be more than that and have people involved and have people go to places they've never been before and hit PBs and goals and all the rest of it. And while it was about fundraising funds and awareness to help out Gulford's families that have sick kids, it was always a little bit more than that. It was always about trying to inspire and encourage other people to do things that maybe they never thought they could do. And that is exactly what happened this last 5 days. I'm going to have a crack at shouting out to everyone that hit new uncharted territories. So we'll start off with day 2. Jonty ran his first ever 50Ks. He's an absolute athlete, but never ran more than a marathon before. So on that day 2, obviously backing up first place on the 10K the day before. Will Miller also done his first 50Ks ever on day 5. What's going on here? Emma Miller, she done, it was like 30Ks or something on day 3 with the barrow, broke into 2 sections. I don't think she'd run more than 21. She may have done 25 before, but yeah, unreal effort. She also come down for the park run for a lap or 2, and then come down on the last day for, I think it was 3 laps. I find it hard to remember all the things, but yeah, ticking up a lot of Ks there, plus doing the 21 on the pipeline day. So yeah, we're getting up to 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70 Ks in those few days. John Bishop, I had a few people comment on my stories like, does John run? He ticked up like 78 Ks, which is absolutely unbelievable, so well done. Connor Swinton, both these two, John just kind of came up for this event. It's just, yeah, unreal. I was just so appreciative and grateful of them coming up. Swinno's never ran more than 21. He ran 30 Ks on the park run day, and then come down for the final lap of the golf course on day 5. There was the F45 gang, so some more shout outs from them. Quinny is not a runner. He doesn't remember the last time he's ran more than 5Ks. He smashed out like 25Ks on the barrow day, and he was hurting, but he just kept pushing, and just unbelievable to see that. I'm sure he's probably still sore right now. Well done, Quinny. Levi from F45, I don't know how far she's ran before, but I was told that she ran about 15Ks on day 4, which is more than what she's ever ran, and quite sore, but managed to chug it out. Caitlin had never done more than 10Ks. She ran 12Ks, or probably 12.5Ks on day 5, non-stop, which is just unreal. We've got Boldy, I think he ticked up like 75Ks over 3 days. He's had all sorts of issues trying to run of late, shin splints, all the rest of it. But and he was actually meant to be at work, and he decided to postpone that to come down. So just, yeah, so grateful for everyone that's jumped in. Luke Craker, man, what a legend. He was there basically by my side, feeding me the little bladder that I like to call something else, but yeah, sucking on this little bladder that is feeding me. Are you okay? Do you want food? Do you want water? Playing the beats, bit of entertainment, a few wheelies. He was just there the whole time, and yeah, just so grateful that he was there for it. Shout out to Golfers Machining for letting him come and sponsor the event, I guess, sponsoring his time when he's going to be at the final hours of his job. So letting him come down, it was very appreciative. Aiden Luke, absolute legend, pretty much there the whole time. All the Rotary Club guys, everyone that come down. There was Dave there doing the escort, he was there most days. Dan Selleck, the president. King Bill was there. Yeah, it was just unreal. Caitlin, obviously my partner, could not have done this without you to this extent. There's no way it would have went as well as it did or performed as well as it did without her pretty much being my social media manager, and just keeping the ball rolling. So efficient, putting up with my shit. Yeah, there's a lot that sort of goes on behind the scenes to have something like this come to light, and I'm a bit OCD with things and second guess and hesitate, and she's just there saying, nah, just do it, or whatever it may be. So very appreciative. Thank you so much. I love you all. I'm sure there's lots of people I forgot to shout out to, but yeah, I'm gonna pause and then I'm gonna start another one about the run itself. All right, hopefully that's there so I know which is what. All right, now let's talk about the days. Day one, registered pipeline event. Went out with a goal to do a sub 4. It was definitely achievable, but I was very nervous and not doing I'd done the most training I've ever done for this, but I didn't do that much training due to hurting my foot, and also not want to push too hard and fail for okay, Liz is there looking at me, and like die in the arse and not be able to back it up the next 4 days. But went out a bit different strategy to how I normally run. I normally go out very conservative, feeling very reserved for at least the first 20 to 30 Ks. I was feeling good. I wanted to ride that wave, and I went a bit quicker than I normally do, probably like a 4:15, 4:20 pace for the first bit. End up being about a 4:30 per K average when I hit the marathon, and the heart rate was very high. And yeah, the next 20 Ks got a bit of a stitch. And what's this old coach doing? Anyway, I'm just gonna finish up day one. Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna call it there. So yeah, carrying on from day one. Yeah, got to the 21 Ks to go mark. Oh, it's probably about 18 Ks. Yeah, 20 Ks to go. Sorry, it was like about the 10K mark for me. And I was coming in quite hot, but I felt this stitch coming on. I ended up holding on to a gel for basically the next 15 Ks. I couldn't consume bugger all electrolytes, couldn't consume gels, and the stitch, my heart rate was around the 180 for quite some time. So that's my body trying to tell me something. So I backed it off a little bit, got the heart rate down a little bit, and then fatigue started to set in. I knew that I couldn't keep pushing at that point because my body was starting to shut down, onset of cramping, all the rest of it. So it was a bit of a grind. The head was still good, but yeah, this stitch was concerning me and not being able to consume any food, nutrition to go. So anyway, pace dropped off a little bit, quite significantly actually towards the end, but managed to push through. I did catch a guy that was ahead of me on the 8K loop, and I could see the next guy ahead, which would have been a podium finish that I knew of at the time. But I got to this point where I thought, I won't lose the position where I am, but if I try to push, I could, I won't gain a position. If I keep chugging along as I am, I won't lose the position, but if I try to go for a push, I might, to try gain a position, I might actually end up losing position if I die in the arse. So I went slow and steady. I was working the maths out to try to keep my sub 4 initial goal, and that I did. I stood on a big ass rock at the beginning. Well, I stood on 2 rocks at the beginning, and I thought I kicked them out. And then right at the end, there's like a K to go. There was a big ass rock, and it was just full of grass area. I was like, fuck it, I'm stopping. I'm gonna pick this out so I don't run like a gimp, because I was running weird. But I tried, and I felt a bit of a cramp onset coming on, so I left it. And then Josh Balderson, absolute legend there, cheering me on at the end, coming onto the grass. It was about 800 meters to go. I was like, Baldy, there's a rock in my shoe, ready? I'll show you. And I was well aware of the consequences of trying to show the bottom of my foot, but I flicked up a little bit, and the little hamstring just went and grabbed me. By this stage, there's a lot of emotion of pushing so hard for so long, heart rate quite high the whole time. There was already tears just for the feels, and then the hamstring come in, and my gut stitch, and run around the grassing just hurting. And I normally do a bit of a push hard for the finish, but I just kept it steady and took it in, done the high fives, didn't really care about my time, if it was going to be like 10 seconds slower or whatever it may be. I was sort of happy with how I went. And then I found out that Joe got done extra 5Ks and got lost in the course. So when I thought I come in fourth, I actually came in third, which was like sucks because I don't think I deserved it, but it was cool to get something that I never thought I got. So I got the podium finish, which is just fucking unreal. Done in 3 hours and 53 minutes. Bet my time by like 10, 11 minutes faster than last year, which is crazy. And yeah, I was a lot of pain, a lot of emotion crossing that line. My gut was sore. I thought I was going to spew. I was worried about going into some sort of cardiac arrest. And I do apologize if I was rude to anyone when I crossed the line, but normally when I push that point, I just need a minute to myself. I'd planned to walk for 10 minutes after I stopped running just to help with the flush to back it up because I know I got 4 days ahead. Anyway, that was day one. That was fucking unreal. Jonty got first on the 10K. I got third on the 50K. Yeah, it was cool to experience that, and both of us come away with a bit of a win. Yeah, got what we were sort of set out to do. So that was unreal. It was just a wicked weather day. Like, couldn't fault the day, I reckon. Like, yeah, it was awesome. Unreal. That was day one. I didn't even get to sit with those thoughts because I was too busy focusing on the next day. And you'll see that in a second. All right, day two. Pipeline in reverse, back to back. Well, on day one, we were meant to have a tailwind, and there wasn't really a tailwind on day one. There was a little bit of a headwind, a little bit of a crosswind. But day two was the tailwind we were meant to get on day one. But since we're going in reverse, it was a headwind, and it was tough. We had to stop at 8K and then done the 8K loop and had another stop in the same location. Energy was still quite high. The legs were a little bit sore, but yeah, I feel like we stopped too long, had too long of breaks, and that headwind was just relentless. The track, while I normally don't notice it being that rough, with fatigue and doing it back to back, it was quite rough. And yeah, definitely made a difference. You had to focus a lot more. Your footing had to be a lot more precise. Risk of injury every day that you go on is just higher and higher, just due to everything being sore and not being responsive or reactive or as mobile as you were the previous day. So I was feeling real fresh until I think it was 12Ks to go, and I started to feel a bit of a wall come on. It was my head still felt pretty strong, but like a couple of the boys mentioned saying I looked wrecked and all the rest of it. I was like, well, they're probably right. I probably do look wrecked. And it was a bit of a grind to cross that line. And I forgot to start my watch. I just got the new Garmin watch to, good excuse, but yeah, just to track it so people at home could follow along and see where I am during the run through the Garmin Connect app. So I stopped it for our breaks, and I forgot to start it twice, which added about 950 meters. The first one was 750 meters I forgot to go for. I forgot to press go, and then I done again like 2 breaks after for 200 meters. So each break I was running another 200 or 300 just to try and make up that time. And sure enough, once we hit the finish line, I ran more than what I had to run. So it ended up being like 50.3 Ks on my watch, but I'd already ran about another 950 that I didn't actually track. So that was fun. But you get that, pay the price. It doesn't count if it's not on Strava, right? Anyway, that was good fun. We took way longer than what I thought and what I anticipated. So I had physio booked at 2 for that day. We finished it at like a little after 1. It might have been 1:15. And then it was a quick pack up, try and savor it in, and then race the physio. Basically went from running to in a car from Kilgardy back to Kalgoorlie, and I got there about 2 minutes before the physio started. Hobbling in there, they had to help me take my shoes off, all the rest of it. I didn't have a shower, I did apologise. But yeah, honestly, I don't think I sweated at all that day because the wind was just, yeah, cooled it before it became anything. But yeah, that was day 2. Alrighty, day 3. the Barrow Day, Balzano Barrow Race. This is the one I was looking forward to the most out of all of them, but as day 2 left me a little bit depleted at the end there, and how sore I was really nervous about going into the Barrow Day because I wasn't sure who was coming, who had committed to give us a push. So I was, a bit anxious about it and worried that I wouldn't be able to push that barrow myself if I had to for 50 Ks. I think it was good going into it with this mind space of thinking it was going to be fucked, because it ended up being the best day and I bloody loved it. And pulled up and there was all of their 45 gang, all the coaches and stuff like that were there. Shannon, the owner of Mako Mining, come down. Jonty ended up having the first couple of hours off of work. Joe Cleesby jumped in riding his push bike. And then ended up running in the Arvo. John Bishop ran a shitload. It ended up being really, really fun. I actually loved it. I was full energy, interactive. The whole way I was reserving myself. I could have pushed a bit harder, and just an unreal day. So what was the funnest part? Definitely getting to the halfway point and running a little bit extra to tick over the 25 Ks for day 3, and that being halfway through the whole event. How my head works is that it's metaphorically downhill from here on out to the rest of the event. It's always a little bit of sense of satisfaction once you've ticked over that halfway point, at least for me anyway. So that was unreal. And there's more people come back. Hicksy, just unreal, absolutely unreal. Hicksy, jumping in, just helping out wherever he could. He read the place so well. He bloody dropped food off to my house, and I'm like beaten and bruised in bed. Like, that's my love language, food. And he read it, and I actually needed it. And all these little like 1%ers just made it so real. And just so grateful. That was day 3. All right. Oh shit, forgot to do that. Day 4. Kakula Park, figure 8 loops, 4.5 Ks is what I mapped out on Strava. Turned out to be about 4.4, which would have been 11.1 loops. It was more like 11.5 loops. This was the best conditions. Like, the ground was bloody even. It was only 10 meters elevation each lap, which is basically nothing. But man, this day sucked. I try to attack each day one day at a time. Focus on today, deal with tomorrow when that comes. But I think day 4, I was just shitting myself about day 5, the golf course, and how shit it's going to be because of the conditions and the hill and the mud and the dirt and all the rest of it. So maybe I got in my head a little bit. Maybe day 3 was too good. I was on too big of a high. I'm not sure, but day 4, just to get going. I didn't do my morning stretch on day 4. I done my breathing, the cold shower, a little stretch, but not my normal stretch. I don't know if that had part to play, maybe with the fatigue of 3 days prior. But to get running hurt. The first lap hurt so much, and it should be easy. And then the last 3 really hurt. And Luke looked back and he told me after we finished, he said, I've seen you pull some paces I've never seen you pull before. And it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. There was a point there where it did not feel nice, and I grounded out, didn't stop. That was the first I sat down too, actually. All the other breaks would stay standing. This one here, we had two breaks, and I sat down for a bit, and it was really hard to get going. Had to build up a fast walk to shuffle to jog, and then once I'm jogging, after a few minutes, I get used to it, and then I can chug that along. So we done the last 3 laps just consecutively, and it was just hurting. There's no way of getting out of it. There was niggles from my hamstring going to my Achilles, and focus on that went to the other Achilles, and started to feel like I'd got some Ks in the tank. But we got it done. Absolutely loved all the support. We got MC cookies, we got Sharice sweets, perks, Sharice sweets, perks, whatever the Instagram name is. So good. Only regret is not eating more of them. They were delicious. Swinno came up for that day. Yeah, Crystal came for that day. Abby got a PB. I don't know if I mentioned that in the other video, but yeah, got a 10K PB. Absolutely unreal. Probably ran the most she'd run in. She done the 21 on the Sunday. Probably ran the most she ran in those few days, Ks wise as well, which is just unreal. Yeah, that was day 4. All right, day 5, the final day. It was a sleep in. It started at 11. This is to try plan it to finish when people knock off work. I was in a lot of pain that morning. It hurt. Could barely walk to the toilet. My Achilles were shot. My head was in a pretty good place, but there was a little bit of self-doubt. There was a bit of, I don't know if I can run today going on. The day was a bit jumbo. We thought we had all the time in the world in the morning, but it sort of crept up real fast, and I was concerned about my shoe, concerned about my Achilles. We're talking about going to sports power and getting some different shoes for the last day to support it a bit better. And we just sort of started running out of time. I was doing my breath work and Wim Hof breathings, what I've done every morning. And I was just doing the 25 breaths to oxygenate your body, and I was just crying. I was just tearing every breath. I was just beating off my eyes. Yeah, it was not a great spot to be in, and I was worried about going there. I didn't want to get there too early and walking around, and I just sort of thought I had to come up with a game plan to conserve, not to rest. I knew there was a hill. I knew most of it was flat, but then there's a hill section. So the plan was to walk the hill, run the flat, don't stop. Eat while you're walking. That's your loop, 8 loops. Grind it out, get it done. Arriving there, yeah, ran out of time to go into sport, so just went straight there. And it was hard not to look at people because I just wanted to burst into tears for a whole heap of reasons. One, it was just bloody unreal for all the support. 2, all the funds that I've raised, like that just means so much. And then yeah, 3, just my body not feeling the best. And so I try not to make too much eye contact with people. I was like, all right, let's get it started. My thoughts base is, rather than stepping around warming up while I warmed up at home, is to just walk to begin with the first 15 minutes, see how my legs feel, and then ease into a run. And that's what we've done. And it was actually quite a good day. The weather was horrible. It was windy. It was raining. It was cold. But it was peace. I found peace with it. The track was a little bit, had to pay attention to a couple of spots. You have to really plan every step. You have to plan where your foot goes, how you're taking the turn, who's around you, all that sort of stuff. But actually worked out really good. It went surprisingly quick. And just the feeling of emotion coming towards that last couple of laps is a feeling that I've never felt before. Sort of felt like I was out of my body. Wasn't sure if it was real. Trying to be present and take it all in without collapsing before the finish line or kicking your foot on the curb or whatever it may be. Very conscious about that, and not to switch off till it's over, because it's very easy to do that, and then it could be over before it's over, before it's begun. But yeah, that was just crazy. And just to turn over the amount of funds we've raised in that short amount of time, and to hear stories of people reaching out saying how that's helped them, or other people saying I didn't know that was an option. I'm so glad, because my son or daughter or something may need this assistance. And yeah, just that's sort of the community coming together. Yeah, people jumping in, going above and beyond, taking time off work when they've got heaps of stuff on a busy plate. It is just unreal, and it just makes me wonder, what else can we do? What else can we do as a group? Who else can we encourage, inspire, or yeah, I don't know. What else can we do as a team, as a community? What else? I don't know. What's next? Anyway, that was day 5. All right, what went well and what didn't go well? If I was to do it again, What would I change, or what will I keep the same? All right, what went really well, I think I didn't measure my calories or my sodium or my carbs, but I think I done a really good job of keeping it where I wanted it to. The goal was to have like between 50 to 70 grams of carbs per hour and about 500 milligrams of sodium. While I didn't measure it, I was really impressed by doing your body check-ins each morning. So when you go to the toilet, looking at the color of your urine, it wasn't brown, it didn't have any blood. It was pretty good. It was pretty hydrated. I'd have Hydrolyte before I go to bed. I'd drink Tailwind during the day, which is high in sodium, high in carbs. I was having about 3 scoops to 700 mil. That went really well. I think my morning prep was excellent, as far as it could have been a little bit better on the stretching front, but the Wim Hof breathing, doing a minimum 2-minute breath hold for 3 rounds minimum, have the cold shower, start warming the body up, have the breakfast, porridge, honey, go to the toilet, try and sneak 2 of them in before I do anything else, stretch in between, magnesium spray on the legs in the morning and then at night before going to bed. That worked really well. The nutrition throughout the day I think went good because my body didn't break down or anything like that, so it's a good indicator. The recovery I think went, what I did do, everything I'd done, I noticed a difference. So when I finished, I tried to walk it off a little bit and then chill out. And then when I go to walk again, I can barely walk. But then I start the recovery process. So first it was ice bath at home, then the shower, do a bit of hot cold stuff, clean myself, compression boots that Josh lent me, absolute godsend. Everything I done felt a little bit better. Compression boots could walk a little bit more. Then I'll go to the physio. They'd work on the niggles, normally the Achilles, the feet, and the hamstring. That would feel a little bit better. Then I'd go to climatize, cycling the hot and the cold, feel a little bit better. Then by the time I go to bed, I'm actually feeling not too bad. Sore, but not too bad. The rest helps. Wake up the next morning, a little bit sore. Do the warm-up. I think that worked really well. Okay, 2 minutes 30 in. What could I improve on if I was to do it again? Well, as good as the recovery was, I need to ice it quicker. I need to ice my legs. I need an ice bath there straight away. Within 15 to 20 minutes of finishing, I need to be in the ice. I need to be consistent with walking down, cooling down before stopping. Like you walk through the banner, it's not over. That's when it begins. What else is there? Yeah, we could definitely stretch more before and after. And the whole prep leading up to it. But I don't think it was too bad. Were there any nasties? Any ones? What went well? Well, I done preventative. I got Gooch Goo, this stuff I brought from Aid Station in like a tube, and done the preventative of that every day on my feet, on my toes, like the crutch area, every morning, and I didn't get one blister. Like in the training, I was getting a blister a run. I don't normally get blisters, but for 5 days, I thought my feet would look bloody horrible. Only today, 2 days post running, the 2 longer toes, the nails have started going black, just because that's the first one that's hitting. But yeah, that's nothing. I thought I was going to lose all my toenails, to be honest. So that was good preventative for sure.